everybody. I am going over your wall arrangement information and your assignment, and I'll show you kind of with a little practice stuff today too, just so you have just kind of some ideas about how to go about making wall arrangements and wall hanging. So looking at this, is rules for arranging your pictures, and I'm just going to cruise through this. You can always reference back to this, but I want to be able to show you some examples. So you're going to, one of the things is trying to stick with frames with the same finishes or color is a good idea. Helps unify things. Or you should have similar widths on frames and or elements. So it's like using those elements to add that unity and variety and how to do that. And you can see on here, oops. Wanting to actually move this around. Okay, I'll show you some of the pictures on here. So you can see on here there has a lot of variety, but they're balancing it out. So like there's like wooden frame, like brown wooden frames, and then a couple here, a couple down there, one here, balanced out here. There's mats are the same. The mats, you have a frame and then a mat here. That mat is like a foam board kind of piece. And that allows you to have like littler pieces of artwork, but that they're not looking so dinky, right? That it's like, okay, I can have a bigger piece and it frames it really nicely. And that's kind of some of the purposes of that. And you can see this on this bottom one. You know, there's frame thicknesses that are the same and familiar, but then they're having matting all the way around all of them to help unify it. Exception being this one on the right-hand side. Okay, but all the rest have that unifying piece. On this top one, it's all white, right? The mat and the frames are all white, and it unifies it really well. Over here, it's working with black and white only, and that helps unify it. Some of the frames are black, some of the frames are white, and some of the mats are too. Okay, so looking, other rules continuing is space. Making sure space in between the artwork is fairly consistent, and you have about 1 to 3 inches in between each piece of artwork. A lot common thing is people leave way too much space into their artwork pieces, and then it doesn't look like a whole composition anymore. It just looks like random stuff all over. So that 1 to 3 inches between the artwork itself is good. And then the composition is just groupings. Odd numbers are preferable to even numbers, usually. Exceptions to that though. Like on here you have a whole odd kind of numbers going here. This is even numbers, but there's a lot of them evenly spaced out. But I think it could look better to have a little bit odd numbers in working with it. But if you're trying to get a symmetrical design, that's harder to do. Okay. Okay, next one, distance. This is one of the most common mistakes I see people make, sometimes on their assignment, but in person in particular when I go to people's houses. In general, you should be hanging pictures above furniture is about 6 to 8 inches from that furniture. This is totally breakable, but it's harder to get to look right. If it's not above furniture, you should hang them at average eye level, and average eye level is 5 feet from the center of the picture. Most people hang these way too high. You can see from this picture on the bottom is that 5 feet is that little dotted line right there. So that's that center of that picture is where it should be. And you can see there's a lot more room on the bottom, like the floor bottom, than there is to the top of it. There should be anyway when you're doing that, but it's still way less than people think. But it depends on your arrangement as well. Okay. And then you can measure it clearly to get to 5 feet. I'm 5'7", so my eyes are going to be at about like 5'4"-ish. So I just go down, and I go down a couple inches, and then to me that's that eye level. Okay. Balance your artwork with symmetrical or asymmetrical. Again, looking at this picture, I get a lot of people that think this is symmetrical, but it's not. Okay, a lot of it's symmetrical, but you can see the picture on the right-hand side, and then the two on the left-hand side. That makes it asymmetrical. I have one larger picture, and then I have 2 smaller pictures. Plus, all these accessories count as part of that arrangement. So there's books here, there's a candle here, there's pictures here, pictures over there. They don't all match, but they're balanced. Okay. Next is scale, like scaling your artwork to your furniture. If I have huge pieces of artwork, I don't want little dinky pieces of, or if I have huge pieces of furniture, I don't want little teeny tiny pieces of artwork. It doesn't mean they need to be all big. I can make smaller pieces and arrange it in a bigger way, but it depends on what bold you're looking for. Also, if I have furniture, this is a big one, your artwork should be somewhere in between 3/4 to the entire width of the furniture. Okay, and think of it as one grouping. Okay, and you can kind of see there's exceptions to this as well, but if I'm looking at this one in particular in the upper, I see how I have my sofa, and then it's like almost the entire width of the sofa. You also can do some stuff like if I wanted these end tables, I could make the whole end table a part of that arrangement also. Okay, I have this table, like a shelf right here, and then I have the artwork taking up almost the whole thing. Okay, to me, the only thing missing here is I have like a shelf or a table. Excuse me. I should have some accessories or something on there that makes that arrangement more interesting too. This bottom one is the exception. This one, they're taking the entire wall and they are making that an entire art wall from top to bottom. There's still some space between the trim. You can't see it on there. It's cut off when I'm in that mode, but there's still a little bit there. But you can see the entire thing is a piece of artwork on there. And that's kind of cool. You can do that when you don't have big pieces of furniture on that wall. It wouldn't work if you did. Other rules, make sure your color and texture is balanced. Like keep the weight distribution on there. Don't like put, oh, here's a bunch of blue on this one side and then there's nothing blue on the other side of it. And then just create visual excitement. Mix different shapes and sizes. But just keep it well balanced. Practicing to do that well, you don't want to make a bunch of holes in your walls. So arrange them on the floor first. Before you put them up, make sure you have your spacing about what you want, so you don't end up with holes. Or I like to use like the 3M like Velcro-y things that you stick that are sticky and go on the walls. Those are nice, and you don't end up with holes in your wall. But they're kind of expensive, so I don't want to have to put it on the wall because once it's really on there, I can't take it off without like pulling the thing down and then wasting it. Right, so it still works better to do this. Accessories, remember to include lamps, vases, candles, wall sconces, flower arrangements, plates, all of those. They extend into your arrangement. And then a big thing, use shelves to display arrangements. And if you do that, overlap your items. So like on this picture, your pictures, when you're especially doing that, you're overlapping some of them and even overlapping them a little with accessories. So you don't want to, I wouldn't overlap every single one. Like notice on this middle shelf, I have some space in between those two. So I think that adds a little visual like space in there, so you're not everything overlapping. Okay. And then here, I just have a couple slides of like arrangement ideas of how you can arrange them. Notice some of these are symmetrical and some are not. Like these two on the left, upper left, are totally symmetrical. If I cut them in half, they're going to be identical on either side. Same thing with this one, this chain reaction one on the upper right. If you cut it in half, it's identical on either side. The rest of them are symmetrical. They're not like that. Okay, a couple more, or a few more. Like all of these top ones, except for those very left-hand ones, those are all symmetrical. Cut them in half, they're identical on either side. Now this one's cut off a little bit. Okay, I also have this bottom middle one that's symmetrical. But then I think pretty much the rest of them are asymmetrical. And then to highlight these two upper ones with this line, this is what you would do going upstairs. So the line is showing a railing, and then you can arrange your artwork above that. Okay. Next up, I just have alternatives. There's all kinds, and there's way more than I have on here. But arranging, you can have really big pieces of like mirrors or artwork even like resting on the floor and going up really high. And that's still stuff on your walls, even though it's sitting on the floor. There's vinyl, like cling things you can put on the wall, like this middle one. And you can take them off again. They're not like, you don't have to like shave them off. A lot of times they're really temporary. You can put them up, put them down. And then this bottom, or this top right one, this is actually like fibers. Like, I don't think it's quite like yarn, but it's similar to that, and it just gives a whole effect on the entire wall, which is really cool. And you wouldn't put artwork above that, it wouldn't work. This bottom one I think is really cool. It's things that you can stick to walls. That would be pretty pricey to do that though. So my best guess is cardstock arranged in this way and stuck onto the walls. It's something super different and interesting. Even if you don't love it, it just gets people thinking outside the box, I think, which is nice. Okay, so that's kind of your note stuff really quick. I didn't have any notes assignment pieces to go with that. However, I have this little practice thing on Jamboard that I did with kids that weren't in person. But I want to just show you, and I'm going to show you how to do your assignment. Your assignment's really similar. So your assignment that looks like this, it has the sofa and the 2 chairs. I'm on Jamboard. You can just do Google searches and copy and paste them onto yours. On Jamboard, I have to do it this way. I have to do a Google image search. So like I'm typing in artwork, right? If you want specific, like I can put impressionist. Impressionist art. Okay, maybe that's the kind I want. And then I don't get all the random stuff that I'm not looking for. Okay, this is up to you on what you're looking for and design it how you want. Maybe I'm like, oh, I like this one, it's got some water in it, right? So then I do it on here, and then I can shrink. You should be able to do this with your copying and pasting and making it how you want. Okay, if I put it like down here, see how that's not enough space. Let me move this down so you get the whole thing here. Okay, so that's not enough space in between this and this. That'll be like 1 inch. Remember, we need like 6 to 8 inches above our sofa. So I'm going to put it right about there. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to want to add stuff to this, but I want to find my pieces of artwork first, or I want to find stuff for my end tables first. So then I'm going to go back here, and maybe I want, maybe I want lamps. Maybe I want some side lamps, or I could do vases, or whatever. Okay, this is where it's tricky. You've got to find stuff that has just a white plain background, and there's nothing else there, or it's not going to work when you put it on there. And so you're going to have better results than I do. Maybe I just want to put lamp, actually. Doing lamps is giving me multiple, so this gives me a little bit better results. Okay, so I'm looking. I'm going to find something I like. I'm not finding anything I really love. So maybe I need to go table lamp. Get a little more specific. Okay, I don't like this one, but I'm just showing you, right? So I'm going to put this lamp. It kind of matches my thing. I'm going to put it on there. That's a little big. Okay, maybe I put it on there. If it's really overlapping, I can take this, like if I order it, if I send to back, it would fit on the back more. If it's showing a bunch of like white that overlaps. Okay, and this one I'm going to just duplicate, right? Because this is my example of symmetrical design. So I need whatever I have here, I need to have on there, so it's symmetrical. Okay, and then I would add some more pieces in here to make it a little more interesting. Okay, and then you have, I have another one, another example. This could be like this is your asymmetrical. Like this has to be asymmetrical because it already is. Okay, so I could put artwork on here, I could put stuff here, I could put stuff there, and then you make it work with what you're doing. This is your assignment. This is your assignment right here. So you're going to do symmetrical on this one, and then you're going to do asymmetrical on this one. Making sure you don't go too high, because this top line right here is your ceiling. This bottom line is your floor. So just plop stuff in, and then you can put it to the back so it blends in, making sure you're putting stuff here also. Okay, do you have any questions? Send me an email.